Alrighty. What's going on, Knicks Nation? Appreciate you guys in the chat. Smash the like button, subscribe, all the good stuff. Your New York Knicks lose to the Detroit Pistons, and I forgot to edit this once again. Sorry, I'm doing multiple things at the same time. This was last night's game. They lose to the Pistons by a final score of 115 to 106. Man, oh man. What a game, huh? What a game. Boom. Sorry, doing multiple things at once over here. Appreciate you guys in the chat once again. Knicks lose 106-115. They do not clinch the number 3 seed. The Indiana Pacers won tonight, so the Knicks magic number remains at 1. Pistons won. Milwaukee's about to win. So, ladies and gentlemen, if tonight was a playoff preview, then buckle up. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because the Knicks versus the Pistons is going to be a war, I believe. And we saw it firsthand tonight. And look, no OG Anunoby, no Josh Hart, no Mitchell Robinson. I want to preface by saying that. Had some great performances tonight, though. We'll go through it all. But if the Knicks and Pistons, a message was sent by Detroit. That's what I took out of tonight's game. A message was sent by Detroit. Knicks, I thought the Knicks had this game. And then Detroit just kept clawing back, and ultimately won the game. But what we just witnessed wasn't your average end of the season, this game doesn't matter type of game, right? This was physical, emotional, personal, I thought. So you could even feel it from opening tip. Brunson had that look in him. Brunson had that look in his eyes. He wanted to beat this team. Doesn't matter if it, quote unquote, doesn't matter in the stand. Brunson wanted to beat this team. And you saw the look. 2 teams that know they're headed for a collision in the first round, right? It's not official yet. The Knicks, if they would have won tonight, they would have made it official, but it's not. It's not official yet. 2 teams that know that they're headed against one another in the first round. Physical, emotional, Dennis Schroeder playing a tough guy, standing over Brunson, and you got PJ Tucker retaliating. But I thought this game was more just about the final score, guys. I thought this game was more about that. And look, Knicks made a lot of mistakes in that fourth quarter and could have pulled through. They lost. And we got to witness what the atmosphere is going to be. Detroit was loud. It was loud in there. And what the Pistons are going to be. They wanted to send a message tonight, and the message was sent. At least that's what I feel. And that's what happened. As you can see, the Knicks lose 106-115. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. I see all of you guys in here. Joel, Isaiah, Tony, Crimes Dad. Appreciate you gifting the membership earlier. I appreciate you, Crimes Dad. El Figgy says the Pistons are hungry and physical. The Knicks look banged up and confused going into the fourth quarter. A lot of questionable rotational. Like, Landry Shamet was hot in the fourth quarter, and Tom Thibodeau decides to pull him. You don't sit that, in my opinion. Landry Shamet was hot, and he was feeling it. I know Thibodeau wanted to go back to P.J. Tucker for his physicality, and Tucker was amazing tonight. First and foremost, P.J. Tucker was absolutely incredible tonight. Brought the physicality. For a guy who hasn't played in over 2 seasons, he looked like P.J. Tucker. He looked like P.J. Tucker on the basketball court. Physical, big body, can't be pushed around, hit a corner 3. So he's playable. And that was kind of shocking because I didn't think the Knicks were going to go to a P.J. Tucker, but they did instead of the Rooks. So they went to him, and he played phenomenal, I thought. Precious played phenomenal tonight, dunking on Stewart. Deuce played phenomenal tonight. JB looked like JB. Karl-Anthony Towns, terrible game from your starting center. Terrible game from Mr. Karl-Anthony Towns tonight. So what did he have? What did Towns have? 7 turnovers tonight for Karl-Anthony Towns, if I'm not mistaken. Right? So Towns finished with 25 points, 10 rebounds, 7 turnovers. I thought it was a bad game. 25-10. I still thought it was a bad game from Karl-Anthony Towns. And One thing that the Pistons did mid-game was they switched Jalen Duren off of Karl-Anthony Towns, and they put Isaiah Stewart on Karl-Anthony Towns. And after that, Towns looked like he was, I'm not going to say shook, but he looked like it was bothering him. Isaiah Stewart played great defense on Karl-Anthony Towns, and that's one wrinkle that they're going to throw at now. Now they see the tape. Now they got tape on us. And look, we're without three big guns, but still, no excuses over here, man. This game was physical. This game was rowdy. This game meant something, guys. I know we're without OG, Hard, and Mitch, but seeing the look in Brunson's eyes, he wanted this one. He wanted to send a message. Knicks went up big, right? They went up big, and then Detroit, fourth quarter, third quarter, second half, they clawed back. They made the adjustments as necessary, and they beat the Knicks. But ultimately, look, Precious Achiuwa, man. Shout out to Precious Achiuwa, man. But first and foremost, give a round of applause for Precious Achiuwa. That's an amazing performance from him, dunking on Stewart, and just had an incredible basketball game. I thought 3 blocks, 2 steals, 3 assists, 18 points, 8 of 13, 40 minutes. McKell in that fourth quarter left a lot to be desired, I thought. Some bad turnovers there in that fourth quarter, hesitant to shoot in that corner there. And, yeah, look, it's things I notice, but I know it's a regular season game, but it felt like a playoff atmosphere. It felt like a playoff atmosphere tonight, right? And it's Miles McBride and Jalen Brunson. They look good together starting. They look comfortable. And then the Knicks just went, they just offensively, they didn't look the part in the second half offensively. And that goes back to my Landry Shamet point. I mean, why take the kid out if he's playing really well? Like, what's the logic behind that? Again, I know you wanted to be physical, but why take Shamet out, man? You could saw him on the bench kind of like upset. Not upset. Like, he looked kind of upset. I would have been upset too. So something that Tom Thibodeau did that I didn't agree with right there. And Karl-Anthony Towns was in foul trouble, only 29 minutes, 7 turnovers. Again, I just thought it was a bad game from him. It's a bad game. But, guys, what did you feel about tonight's game? What did you feel about tonight's game? Once again, a lot of comments to catch up on. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, Woody says, where's our iconic defense? Eddie says, salute to the chat. This just in, Coach Tom Thibodeau has won Coach of the Year. Come on, guys. Isaiah says, Crimes Dad says we lost on purpose. I saw that in the timeline too. I don't think the Knicks lost on purpose. If you saw the way Jalen Brunson was looking out there, he looked like he wanted this game extremely bad. Extremely bad. Yuri, see you in the chat. What's going on? Eddie says Detroit can beat us. Our interior defense is very poor. Yeah, look. Michael says Cat will moan and groan and lay on the ground, and the Pistons will get a 5-on-4. Cat got to stop complaining. You can't complain with this team. It's playoff basketball. Tonight was a playoff basketball atmosphere. Rest were calling. It was physical out there, which is why you saw the big man, PJ Tucker, come in and be physical with the Detroit Pistons, because you need that against this series. And look, the Knicks I thought the Knicks played really well in the first half. They played really well in the first half, and they were looking good. And then midway through the third, it just flipped. Towns got into foul trouble. The ball stopped moving. And, it just flipped. And, Detroit, credit to them, they made their adjustments. But, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a heavyweight matchup. Get ready, get your popcorn ready. This is going to be a heavyweight matchup. I thought this would be 4 or 5 for the New York Knicks. I still think it can be, but Detroit is a scrappy group. This is why, if I were to pick, I would have picked the Milwaukee Bucks to play in the first round. Again, a lot can that's not gonna happen. It looks like that's not gonna happen, but Detroit plays physical. Detroit plays scrappy, and Cade, he plays great against us. Cade plays amazing against us. A lot of times tonight, Brunson was being matched up on Cade Cunningham. Cade finished with 36 and 8 assists. And, yeah. And look, physical game, man. Physical game. Felt like a real preview of what the first round is going to be like. Gritty. You know. But if you were to come into tonight thinking about how this Knicks team would look in the playoffs in the first round, I still think they can take care of the Detroit Pistons, but you're going to have a lot of Knicks fans take this loss and be like, see, we can't beat the Pistons, which I don't think is the case. You know, we're without our big guys, our three main guys. So, again, I kind of want to take it with, I don't want to overlook it. I'm noticing it because this game was physical and the Knicks wanted this game, and JB was, you know, he had that look in him. But let's not forget that we were missing, you know, 3 of our key pieces. But shout out to the guys who stepped up, man. Right? It seemed like they didn't miss a beat. So, you know, Deuce McBride came in, started, played, you know, 2 of 10 from 3. He just missed a bunch of threes there in the second half. But first half, he was amazing. Him and Brunson looked incredible. It's fascinating how the offense looks when you got another shooter next to Brunson, besides Josh Hart, though. And I thought those Deuce and Brunson, they played well off of one another. But look, JB, 29 minutes. You know, McBride, I thought looked good. Tucker, phenomenal. 3 offensive boards. And I just loved, I'll show you guys the clip that he stood over Dennis Schroeder after Dennis Schroeder stood over Jalen Brunson. You know, you're not going to do that to our guy, man. And we honestly have been missing that all season long. That physicality, that toughness. This is why the Knicks brought in PJ Tucker. They extended him. I want them to extend him again. Right? But if anything, if you could take anything out of tonight, guys, it's that you can trust Shamet, you can trust PJ Tucker against these guys. Now, I don't know if Tom Thibodeau is going to play them. But after what I saw tonight from PJ Tucker, I need to see PJ Tucker minutes in the playoffs. I need to see that. Could you imagine MSG feeding off this guy's energy, feeding off of his aggressiveness, feeding off of his diving for loose ball, just feeding off of his just aura out there? I need to see PJ Tucker minutes in the playoffs. He played great, guys. He played great. For a guy who hasn't played in 2 years, PJ Tucker, in my opinion, played great. And that's the toughness that we need. Look, Dennis Schroeder standing over Jalen Brunson, to me, that's fake tough guy stuff, man. Jalen Brunson ain't worried about that dude. Like, he's not. Like, come on now. Brunson ain't worried about that dude. But it started with Precious dunking over Stewart. And I thought they were going to go at it, too. They were like elbows locking. I thought they were going to go. I was like, uh-oh, here we go. And then, you know, Isaiah Stewart took it and ran down the court. But it started really in the first quarter. You saw the look, and the Knicks just couldn't overcome the physicality in the fourth, where the Detroit Pistons just made winning plays. Winning plays. But they sent a message that we're coming. That's what I think their goal was tonight. They weren't missing really anyone, right? Maybe Sasser. But they were playing their guys. You know, this is who they are. They're playing their guys. So I thought their goal was to send a message to the New York Knicks like this is not going to be a pushover. And message received. And we'll just have to wait and see how it looks in the first round. But now, I still do think the Knicks can take care of them in 4 and 5 or 5. I'll give it 5. I don't want to be too optimistic. Lamar, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. All right, let's hit some of these comments. I Am Unstoppable says it was literally the bench staring at PJ Tucker in the third. Please stop. What you talking about? Marshawn says PJ Tucker was the best player. I love what I saw from PJ Tucker out there, man. Just incredible toughness for a guy who's been sitting on the bench for essentially 2 years and he's been bounced around. He looked like PJ Tucker. And To me, that's a very positive sign, because now I came out of this game that you can rely on him against these Pistons. And the Knicks going to PJ Tucker, kind of throwing that wrinkle out there. Maybe they're actually thinking about it. I know you're without Hart and Anunoby. Those are two wing players. But still, I think there's a world where you can find pockets of minutes for PJ Tucker. I do. And I would not hate it at all. I would actually embrace it. I actually think Tom Thibodeau needs to do it. But Landry Shamet, I thought, should have played that more majority of the fourth. Tom Thibodeau, I don't. It's substitutions like that just make you scratch your head. But I don't want to sit here and overreact. I don't. But it's substitutions like that where I'm like, dude, Shamet was balling in that fourth quarter. Leave him in the game. He was rolling. He was hot. Come on. Michael said they're missing Jaden Ivey, their number 2 option. Yeah, they've been missing him majority of the season. He's been practicing. He's been cleared for basketball activities. So we'll see if he plays against the Knicks in the first round. But, yeah, Tony says this team better play Precious come playoffs. I like Mitch, but Mitch can't do what Precious can do offensively, and Precious plays pretty good defense. Tony, I love that. I love the optimism, but I don't think that's going to happen. But it gives you confidence that you can go to these guys, right? Precious seemed confident and seemed comfortable out there. He did. Seemed confident, seemed comfortable. That's the Precious Achiuwa that we've been missing. We haven't seen this version of Precious Achiuwa in a long, long time. And I know he played 40 minutes, but he looked incredible. I mean, the rebounding, the assists, the steals, the blocks, the 18 points. I mean, this reminded you of how he was playing last year when everyone was down, when we needed a spark. This is Precious. And just last week, it looked like he couldn't play basketball. It's all about confidence with him. And tonight was a big confidence booster for him. So you can go to these guys. Now, do these guys play? If I were to guess, I would say no. Like Precious, I don't see playing. Tucker, I would like to play. Honestly, I would like to play PJ Tucker against these boys. I would like to. Just the toughness alone. I just love what I saw. Like, you're not going to sit here and try to punk us. Like, you're not. Like, Tucker can bring that. And I think the Knicks need that desperately. But we'll just have to wait and see. But, yeah, appreciate you guys in here. Smash the like button, subscribe, all the good stuff. Knicks lose 115-106 to the Detroit Pistons. They are still the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. They did not clinch the number 3 seed because the Indiana Pacers won. There is a world where the New York Knicks fall back to the 4th seed. If the Indiana Pacers win their next 2 games and the New York Knicks lose their next 2 games, your New York Knicks are the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. It is still a possibility, believe it or not. It is still a possibility to play the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. Anything is possible. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the Knicks will win one of these next 2 games, whether it's tomorrow versus Cleveland or whether it's Sunday versus the Brooklyn Nets. But it's still a world. I'm just relaying that information to you guys out there. But I wanted this win. I did, just based on the atmosphere. Felt like a playoff game. It did. Felt like a playoff game. But the Knicks made a business decision, resting OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. They have a last back-to-back of the season, right? You got Cleveland tomorrow. So, great first half. Second half, they kind of let go of the rope a little bit. Foul trouble, Towns. I don't know. If there's anything that I was like, I'm saying like I'm not satisfied with Karl-Anthony Towns tonight, and he gave you 25 and 10 and 4 offensive boards. But the turnovers, man, you got to clean that up. Got to clean that up. You can't turn the ball over against this team. You can't. And the Pistons are now going to throw Isaiah Stewart at Karl-Anthony Towns. Be physical with them. So Isaiah says, can we get rid of Campaign? I want him gone. Payne, 7 points, 2 assists, 1 steal. DeLon Wright actually played tonight due to the lack of wings that we had. Look, Thibodeau has options. And it's whether or not Tom Thibodeau utilizes the options. Or does he stick with his normal rotation? I think you got to try it. It's all hands on deck, man. It's all hands on deck. No feelings. Sorry if I hurt your feelings. I don't care. You need to play the guys that you think will give you the best chance to win. And look, Payne has done great things for us this year. Campaign has been campaign. He's been solid. But DeLon Wright, I think, has been solid for us these past few weeks with everyone down. Shamet, now you're starting to see really good things from him. That's an extremely positive sign. And I really don't know what to make of this PJ Tucker thing, guys. I don't. Like, there's a part of me who thinks that the Knicks threw him out there because they think that his physicality can match up well with the Detroit Pistons. And, I mean, you saw it out there tonight firsthand. I mean, he was amazing. And then there's another part of me who thinks when everyone's back and everyone's healthy that he's just going to ride the bench again. El Vicky says, and same with Precious in the first half. He took out Precious and Shamet while they were hot-handed. Thibs doing Thibs things. Yeah, substitution patterns, man. I mean, Thibs tries everything just not to lose the game. I mean, sometimes you gotta play the hot hand. You can't take your hot hand out. Landry Shamet he drew a charge, hit 2 threes, and you're sitting there like, okay, Landry, I see you. And then you know, I understood the PJ Tucker because PJ Tucker was playing so well, but I don't know. Like, I think you should have just rolled with Shamet. You needed a bucket. You needed his spacing. I think you should have just rolled in him, and he should have. And unfortunately, he didn't. But that's the reality of the situation, man. I mean, that's the substitutions from Tom Thibodeau that we're going to have to analyze and, you know, go over as we prepare for this first round. Because now after tonight, it's like, oh, okay. Can you rely on Tucker? I think you can. Can you rely on Precious against them? I think you can. Precious played well against them. Tucker played great against them. Brunson plays well against them. Something you analyze. But there were mistakes in that fourth quarter that I saw that I didn't like. Turnovers, Mikal, hesitant. Can't be hesitant, man. Thinking too much. Mikal was super efficient tonight. 7 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. 2 rebounds, 7 assists, again, being that facilitator. But, yeah, I mean. Muhammad says, we will win tomorrow night, national TV. Is that game on national TV? Or did NBA TV take that off? Is that on ESPN tomorrow? Prezi says, salute to assistant coach Tucker for getting some burn. Shout out to PJ Tucker, man. Shout out to PJ Tucker, man. Look at this Preston Achiuwa. Oh, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. First half, Preston Achiuwa down the court on Big Stu. Love that, man. Right here, I thought they were going to scrap. Right here. Right there. Right there. Shout out to Precious for that dunk, man. Shout out to Precious for that dunk. And shout out to Precious for having a great, great game tonight. Where is my... All right. So that's the Precious dunk. Here we got PJ Tucker ready in the game. I was shocked when he came in the game, but you love his toughness that he brings. Just look at him laying out his body on the line against Isaiah Stewart. That should have been a charge, by the way. Looking like PJ. Look at his box out. Look at that. Using his body, using his strength. I mean, it's stuff. And right here, Isaiah Stewart pushing him on the ground. I love that. I need to see more of that. And the Knicks need that. The Knicks need that. And it's good to see Tucker do that because, quite frankly, you didn't know what did he have left in the tank. Was it on E? A lot of people thought it was on E. But PJ Tucker showed tonight that he got some stuff left in that tank. He could play. And what I loved the most was this play right here from PJ Tucker.
Brunson fouled by Schroeder.
Hold on, let me put it in the PJ Tucker getting Jalen Brunson's back, man. Right here. See, Dennis Schroeder trying to be the fake tough guy, standing over Jalen Brunson, right? And then what, a couple of possessions later, you got PJ Tucker doing the same thing. Love it. Love it. Love it. But guys, let's be honest with ourselves. Do you think the Knicks will lose to this Pistons team? I don't. I don't think this Knicks team will lose to this Pistons team. If they do, that'll be a catastrophic disaster. And I honestly think there's, call me crazy, I don't think there's any way we lose to them. Am I crazy? There's a way. I mean, now they're 3-1 against you on the season. So you're sitting there like, what? There's no way for you to lose to this Pistons team. What are you talking about? I don't know. We're without 3 of our guys. Knicks looked great in the first half. Maybe they took the foot off their gas in the second half. I don't know. The Real Big Sean with the Super Chat. Appreciate you, Real Big Sean, with the Super Chat. Thank you for the support, as always, and thank you for rocking with us tonight on the Knicks Nation postgame show. He says, relax, everyone. They barely beat us without our big 3 defensive guys and OG 16 points. Real Big Sean with the Super Chat. Appreciate you again. Yeah, I see a lot. The reason why I'm saying that, because I see a lot of people in the chat kind of like overreacting a little bit. And I get it. Pistons are 3-1 against you. And in that fourth quarter, you kind of let go of the rope. It kind of was like the vibe was off in that fourth quarter. The crowd was into the game. Pistons were trying to punk you, and a Stewart fouled out. But that's one thing you can hold your hat on. Stewart's, he's going to use those fouls. Cade Cunningham, he's going to use those fouls. They're going to get crazy. They're going to use their technicals. They're going to use their fouls, and that's something the Knicks can feed off of. Doesn't seem like they're that disciplined, the Pistons. That's something you can take advantage of. So I still do think it's Knicks in 5. I do. And I'm confident. Like, really confident. And I know we lost tonight. I know they're 3-1 against us on the season. I'm not saying there's not a world where the New York Knicks lose to this team in the first round. But I don't know. I am going to pick the Knicks in 5. And I still do think the Knicks will take care of business against this team. Now, things can change, though. Things can change. Butch Brown says, I really want to get rid of the Bridges uniform. I will swap PJ Tucker uniform for Mikal Bridges. Yuri's in the Discord. Those of you in the Discord, hop in the Discord. I'll get to your calls a little bit later. Yuri wants me to put him on. Yuri, be patient, please. Be patient. We'll get you on later. Be patient, please. I see you in the Discord. Be patient. El Figa says, you could tell we're afraid to get hurt and Detroit is just throwing their bodies around. This Rover says we will lose simply because we don't shoot. We do not shoot 3. Detroit is going to look, mission accomplished for Detroit tonight. They came in tonight with a mission. I thought, look, it was a tough game. It was a tough physical game in Detroit. They checked the box, right? Wasn't your average regular season game. The stakes were, higher than normal, even though the game essentially didn't matter, quote unquote. But you could feel it from opening tape, like I said, the both teams. And in the fourth quarter, Detroit hunkered down and played their brand of basketball, and they fed off of the crowd. Just more of a reason that gave me to possibly go to Detroit. Man, I think I might have to. But yeah, I think Detroit wanted to send a message tonight, and they did. They did. Loud and clear. What's going on, Loud and clear? Thank you for becoming a member again. Everyone hit that thumbs up. Yes, appreciate you in the chat. Robert says, I like your confidence. Robert, I'm confident in this Knicks group. I am. Because I don't think there's a world where I envision this Knicks team losing to this team fully healthy. because now that I saw PJ Tucker provide stuff, now we saw Precious can do stuff. So Thibodeau has options. Now it's whether he utilizes those options, that's another story. But now that I have confidence that Tom Thibodeau can go to these guys in a crunch. We know what Brunson's going to bring. We know what Deuce is going to bring. Cat, they're going to try to rough him up like they did tonight in the fourth quarter. Cat has to be even keel. Can't get too crazy. Can't argue with the refs. I don't want to hear no complaining from Karl Anthony Towns. Stop the complaining. Please. No more complaining. Stop the turnovers. And we just go from there. But toughness is going to be tested for sure in that first round. It is. It is. But again, nothing's set in stone. You know, nothing is set in stone. I mean, Pistons won tonight. Bucks won tonight. I believe if the Pistons beat the Bucks twice, then they're tied. And I don't know how the tiebreaker falls and on that front. But again, the Knicks could fall back to the 4th seed. I don't envision them doing so. But yeah, man. I mean, look. 8 of 22 from 3 tonight. They didn't really kill you from 3 either. I mean, Beasley didn't hit a 3. And you know he can get hot. I mean, Schroeder came in and gave them a little bit of energy. Stewart gave them great defensive intensity in that second half. Ron Highland, I thought, was flying all over the court. He's a good player. Look, they're tough, man. They're tough, but I still do think the Knicks can take. I'm confident, guys. I am. Like, trust me, I am confident. Like, I'm confident. I'm confident. Yuri says, I'm a crap on Bridges. Oh, man. Oh, man. Robert says they shot 57%, got whatever they wanted in the paint. Yeah, Robert. And that's where you... Let's go to the team stats. Let's look at the team stats. 66 points in the paint for the Detroit Pistons. Golly. 66 points in the paint. That's what No Mitch gives you. Look, that we know that's not Karl Anthony Towns' strong suit, defending the paint. And, you know, that's probably why Tom Thibodeau went back to PJ Tucker in that late in that fourth quarter. And, you know, Precious actually had a solid game in terms of blocks and steals. But, yeah, man, it's going to be all hands on deck. It's going to be – I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I'm just saying I think when it's all said and done, I still do think the Knicks are going to beat this team. I do, guys. I do. But tonight was a confidence booster for the Detroit Pistons. It was. If they're in the locker room and that, they're probably saying to themselves in the locker room, like, we can take these guys. We can beat these guys. We've done it 3 times already. They try to put PJ Tucker out there. Yeah, maybe they're saying to themselves in the locker room that. But I still think we got it. Everyone relax. Let's calm down. I didn't even get the chat up. Isaiah says, I came from the future. Thibs will not use PJ Tucker. Size 9 says, Pistons beat us 3 times. That is a fact. Yes, they are 3-1 against us this season. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a fact. And you can't argue against that. Tony says we have a coach that if right now we're to sign Taj Gibson or Luol Deng, Thibs will have them in the rotation over Precious and Shaman and Payne. Tony, I'm telling you, Tom Thibodeau's rotations will be scrutinized. They will be a talking point. They will be. But if the Knicks are winning, no one's going to care. But you have to win. And I thought the decision to not play Landry Shaman in the 4th, I thought it was a bad one from Mr. Tom Thibodeau. I thought it was a bad one. Nicholas says favoritism like a MF coach is a problem. I don't know why people are scared to say it. Nicholas, Tom Thibodeau has been doing that for years. And I've gotten to the point where I'm not accepting it. But, I mean, it's frustrating. It is. But tonight he used Tucker, he used Precious, obviously due to our wings not being down. And, now that gave me confidence that you can go to those guys in the playoffs. And now we have film, right? We have 4 games of film on the Detroit Pistons. And I think the Knicks can use this one a lot. I mean, there's a lot of film they can use on the Pistons. And I still do think when push comes to shove, Tom Thibodeau has already outcoached JB Bickerstaff in a playoff series. We saw that 2 years ago versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he was outmaneuvering him. So that just gives me confidence. And I do think we have a great staff, and I do think when push comes to shove, we will beat them in the first round. We got to, because if not, guys, if the New York Knicks lose in the first round, somebody has to pay for that. Like, that is a catastrophic failure. I know we've been hearing lately, Alan Hahn has been saying, it depends how it looks. No. If the Knicks lose to the Pistons in the first round, somebody has to get fired. And that somebody is to me, is the coach. But I don't foresee that happening. I don't. Right? I don't. I want to be positive. Positive Ant. Positive Ant, guys. Positive Ant. I don't want to go down that path. Positive Ant. This Rover says Thibs only expands the rotation if he's absolutely forced to. Size 9 says looking forward to the Cavs game. Was extremely disrespectful. Cavs are resting a bunch of guys. I don't even think they're going to play tomorrow. Cavs are going to be on a back-to-back as well. And all their starters didn't play, I don't think. And look, if you go back to the standings, I think the Cavs are done because Mitchell sprained his ankle, 2 games ago? So, yeah, guys, there is a world. Conspiracy theorists out there, do you think the Knicks are losing on purpose? Do you think the Knicks are losing on purpose to fall back to the 4th seed? I've seen that theory. I don't believe so. I don't think so. But there's some conspiracies out there. There's a world where the Knicks can fall back to the 4th. They lose their next 2. Indiana wins their next 2. They're the 4th seed. Voila. Robert says no. El Figgy says positive, and I'm going to be optimistically realistic. El Figgy. Love that. Yuri says, oh. Indiana's 1 game back from us, but we own that tiebreaker. So if we tie with them, we're the 3rd seed. But I want to hear from the conspiracy theorists out there. Loud and Clear says, Tom Thibodeau losing on purpose? Yeah. That's the thing. Like, this coach is not going to sit there and do that. Like, he wants to win preseason games. Like, he's that crazy. So, I don't think that's the case. Robert says it's a coping mechanism. There we go. Isaiah said if they are, then this team are cowards. Just throwing it out there, guys. I don't think they are. But I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah, man, Indiana playing hot, man. They won 6 in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. And they are on our butt. They are on our tail. And right now, again, season ended today. It will be Knicks Pistons. There is a possibility for Knicks Bucks. There's a possibility for Knicks to fall to the 4th seed. I still don't foresee that happening. But until it is set in stone, ladies and gentlemen, anything is possible. Mike Malone just got fired last week. Anything is possible in the NBA. Like, I wouldn't put it past me if the Knicks fall to 4. It wouldn't. Like, you guys think after a long, tough, gritty, emotional loss tonight and Brunson was seen limping around out there, you really think Brunson is going to play tomorrow? I don't. Why? Like, we have to start talking about that. Like, it's a back-to-back, and I know Brunson said all the right things prior to the game. saying that it's his job to play, and we have to credit Jalen Brunson for that because he's playing. He wants to play every single game. I mean, there could be a Jalen Brunson kid. There could be a fan of Jalen Brunson who's a kid in Detroit that saved up all of his money to watch Jalen Brunson play. And Brunson, the professional that he is, played in Detroit, and respect to him for that. I always respect that because I don't like load management, but you're getting to the end of the season where, you start to think about these things because if you're not healthy in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter, like nothing matters. And the Knicks have been not healthy in the playoffs these last couple of years. So they have to prioritize health. And I don't think Brunson should play tomorrow. I don't. This forward says, do you remember who our head coach is? Size 9 says, no, he wants the awards. He could sit tomorrow, Size 9, and he could play on Sunday, and he can get to 65 games. He can play the last game of the season and get to 65 games, but he can sit tomorrow. Or he plays tomorrow, then sits. Either or. He could play tomorrow, then sit on Sunday, then have more time off until the playoffs. To me, that's the smarter route. Just some things that they're probably discussing. But yeah. Tony says, what's the point of playing anyone these last two games? If we get out the first round, we'll be lucky. Y'all keep thinking the Bucks will be an easy series. Tony, let's be positive, Tony. Tony, it's positive Ant tonight. I want positive Tony. I want you to say something positive. I want you to type the New York Knicks are going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. That's what I want you to type. All right. Come on, Tony. You could do it. Well, why am I so zoomed in? Whoa, hold on. There we go. Sorry. Size 9 says we're not playing players and we play for awards. Brunson got hurt in Game 7 against Indiana in the playoffs. Limping it to, all right, let's get to Yuri in the Discord. Appreciate you guys in the chat. You guys can call into the show as always. Let's get to Yuri in the Discord. You guys can call in. Link is pinned up in the Discord. All right. Yuri, welcome to the Knicks Nation post-game show. How are you? What you got to say?
How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to speak as a casual NBA fan. I'm not speaking as a Knicks fan because I'm positive Yuri today. I'm positive Yuri. You're positive, Ant? I'm going to be positive Yuri.
There we go. There we go.
I really loved how physical this game was.
Yeah.
Honestly, this was probably the most physical game I've seen. The refs were not calling anything, and I absolutely loved it.
Physical game, Yuri, reminded you of what's to come in the first round.
Yeah, no, that's what I really loved about it.
That is why I want Mr. PJ Tucker to play.
Yeah, no, I think PJ Tucker can definitely elevate that series. There's that sense of toughness we've been missing all season.
Yep.
And he brought it out tonight.
Yes, he did.
And you felt it. You felt the crowd. You felt the Detroit crowd. And Jalen felt it too. I'm pretty sure Jalen wanted this, but he didn't get it. You know what? Move on to the playoffs. I'm just at the point where whether the Knicks are the 4th seed or the 3rd seed, I don't care. I'm still riding with the Knicks. I still think they can make it out the first round. Another thing, what else did I like about that game? I really did like Preston Achua tonight.
Yes, shout out to Precious, man.
That poster he had, oh man, that had me jumping out of my seat. No, but shout out to Precious, man. He was due for a game. He was due for a game.
Hey, when you've been riding the pine, sitting on the bench, and not really performing and just not playing like Precious has been, that we're so accustomed to him playing. I really thought that he needed to tonight's game, and shout out to him, and I'm happy that he got to perform really well tonight. I really am.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. I'm not going to crap on Bridges because I was venting.
Wait. This Rover said there were 42 fouls called tonight. So you said the rest were swallowing the whistle.
Yeah, they were. They were. I'm not gonna crap on Bridges, but I will say though, Ant,
Yeah.
from a guy who defends Bridges on a daily basis, he was soft as ice cream today. He was soft as ice cream today. You see this is where I'm gonna be a little bit negative, but I'm gonna say it. You see Deuce diving for the ball. You see Deuce diving for the ball. You die for it. I know you don't want to get injured. I get it. That's your play style. You've been playing since high school. I understand that. But this was, if there was a time to be physical, and this was the time. That's why I'm mad at Bridges tonight. And normally I defend him. I'm like, hey, listen, he plays soft because he knows he's gonna get injured.
Yeah.
He's been doing this since high school. I'm not gonna question him. But in a playoff atmosphere, all hands are off. You die for that ball.
I noticed that
And
too
I
from
feel like
Mikel tonight. A little hesitant with his decisions. Number one, and look, Mikel's gonna have we're gonna be watching these things in the playoffs. I mean, Mikel is not going to be, you know, we're gonna be watching him. I'll just leave it at that.
we're gonna be watching him with a saw. I'm gonna be watching him.
Yeah.
Ant's gonna be watching him. Everyone's gonna be watching him. This Grover, I'm going Celtics. I'm picking my poison. Next question.
Yuri, what else you got? What else you got?
Um, I really think that this game in general was a fun game. I'm not gonna, you know, crap on it. I honestly enjoyed the game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
As an NBA fan, when it comes to playoffs, one thing you have to know about me, I'm not a Knicks fan when it comes to playoffs. I'm an NBA fan. That's it. End of story.
You're not a Knicks fan when it comes to playoffs?
Yeah. I watch every single game, man, on playoffs.
Whoa.
That's not a joke.
Whoa. What you mean you're not a Knicks fan when it comes to playoffs?
I watch all the teams. I watch from the West. I watch from the East. I watch from the West, and I watch on the East.
Yeah, but what you mean you're not a Knicks fan when it comes to the playoffs? So when you're a Knicks fan in the regular season, you're not a Knicks fan in the playoffs?
Okay, I'm both in the playoffs. What I'm trying to say is I watch all the teams.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, my last point before I hop off. Listen, Tony. I had one good game tonight. Cade, Tobias, Hardaway. They're all good players. Every single one of them.
Yes. Yuri, appreciate the
They got
call,
it.
Yuri.
There we go. Thank you.
Appreciate the call, Yuri. Who we got up next? We got Queasy in the post-game call-in. Appreciate you, Queasy. As always, how are you? Hope all is well. What's going on?
I'm good. We got a little L, but I ain't gonna lie. While I look like the Knicks trying to tank for that 4th seed, though. For the 4th seed. The tank for the 4th seed looking real.
The tank is on for that 4th seed. I brought it up, but I didn't want. I don't think that's possible with Tom Thibodeau, head coach. But I was seeing it floating around out there, and
yeah, because Hart rested, OG rest. We already know Robinson usually get a rest, but those two, I never see happen. Even when we be like, yo, let them get a rest, it never happened. Even on back-to-backs, Tibbs still be having them play 40 minutes. But now they get a rest. So looking like that tank. We trying to avoid Boston. But this game, man.
I think it was a mixture of that and a mixture of maybe they didn't want, to show their full hand versus Detroit because that's a possible matchup and it's a back-to-back and they were being smart. Because Anunoby did twist his ankle.
I'm tripping over it, though.
Yeah.
I'd rather be healthy in the playoffs than they go hard in this game and they get injured. And then we going to blame Tibbs if they do get injured. So I ain't really tripping. But Payne, man, he got to calm down. Bro be taking some crazy shots. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, we up and you just going back and forth, running down the court, turnovers, hitting the side of the backboard. But it was good to see Deuce have a good game. Like, if we was to play this team, we know he could have a good game. So that's good to see. Mm-hmm. And then Cat had a good game outside of 7 turnovers.
Yeah.
That part right there, like, bro, and some of those turnovers were so stupid. Like, Pistons would throw the ball. I think Cat caught it, and then he threw it right back to them. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, some turnovers were stupid. Like, you got to fix that in the playoffs because turnovers you cannot do in the playoffs. But another problem I see a lot is, like, like Brunson not having it in the fourth quarter, because a lot of Cat and Bridges have the ball and burn time, and it was either a turnover or we had to throw up a shot last second. That got to get fixed, because tonight Brunson didn't really have it, but Bridges and them didn't step up in the fourth to show like they could take over if Brunson don't have it.
It was weird because the first half he was awesome. He looked like he had that look in him. And then, kind of went away from it. But it's all about balance with this team, say Queasy. That's what I keep saying.
Yeah, we missing OG, Hart, and all of them, so I ain't tripping. But another thing I ain't like, if we going to lose this game, leave Shamit out there. Shamit was looking mad. I don't know who he was talking to. Beasley called him small. If he was talking to a fan or the Beasley thing. But after that thing happened, bro came down, hit 2 threes, then got a charge, then got another foul with the screen. I'm like, bro, leave him out there. Do another play for him. Tibbs take him out. I'm like, come on now. We got somebody who's finally in the mode to try to score, and you take him out. But then when Payne doing his little circus shots, we leave him in until it's a 2-point game. But that's all I really got to say.
Say Queasy, appreciate the call as always. Yeah, I mean, mistake from Mr. Tom Thibodeau taking Landry Shamet. He was talking to somebody on the front on the court side. Somebody was chirping at him, saying some stuff, and every time Shamet would shoot and make the shot, he would look back at him. You love that stuff because we're probably going to be there in a couple of weeks. You love that stuff, and then Thibs yanks him. And I know he wanted to play Tucker. I know because Tucker was playing so well, but you got to stick with the guys who are hot. And Shamet, when he needed baskets, he was hitting them. And, yeah, I thought that was a mistake for sure, man. I thought that was a mistake. But appreciate the calls. Yuri, say Queasy, appreciate the calls, as always. Robert says JB tweaked his ankle. Yeah, we saw him earlier on, what was it, the third quarter where he tweaked it? The third quarter? So something that we have to watch for sure, but I'm trying to see if we have any. All right, here are updated Knicks scenarios. Milwaukee beats Detroit once. Knicks win one game or Indiana lose. Knicks face Detroit. Detroit beats Milwaukee twice. Whoa, hold on. Detroit beats Milwaukee twice. Okay. This is what I wanted to know. This is good. So if Detroit beats Milwaukee twice, Knicks win one of their final 2 or Pacers lose, Knicks face the Bucks. So if the Pistons beat the Bucks twice in their next 2 matchups, it's Knicks Bucks. Knicks lose final 2, Pacers win final 2, Pacers jump Knicks, face either Detroit or Milwaukee. Still up in the air. It's crazy. I would have thought tonight we would have had it wrapped up. Knicks won. If the Knicks would have won tonight, it would have been Knicks Bucks first round. That would have been locked. But didn't happen. So that's the updated playoff scenario. So now that I know if the Detroit Pistons beat the Milwaukee Bucks both times over the next 2 games, then it's Knicks Bucks. Knicks Bucks. Tony says Shamet was the only player for us with heart tonight. Not the only player, Tony. Shamet was great tonight, though. But that's the thing you gotta hold your hat on in the playoffs. You hope that he can provide that, and I think he will because he's been playing good. He's been playing better for us, right? And those threes, man, those catch and shoot quick threes in the playoffs, you're going to need that a ton. And so shout out to Shamet. Unfortunate that our coach Tom Thibodeau just, I don't know, maybe he wasn't watching the game at the time. But yeah, how do you take him out there, man? How do you take him out? If this was a playoff game, I would be more upset than I am right now. But I'm trying to be positive Ant. Positive Ant, man. We in regular season. Still a lot of scenarios can happen. Positive Ant. There's times to be negative. There's times to be positive. Tony says, Ant, in the chat, I'm very positive, but the one thing about me, I'm not going to make excuses for this team. Players or the coach, I'm real and critical. 80 games into the season, I'm not impressed by the 50 wins. Yeah, Tony, a lot of fans feel that way, Tony, and I'm not I don't blame you. A lot of fans feel that way, right? But wait to see how it looks in the playoffs. Now, if it looks the same in the playoffs, then we can go down that route. But right now, the Knicks just want to be healthy. A lot of scenarios that can happen still. It's either the Bucks or the Pistons. Either one. You can fall back to 4. You can stay at 3. Emmanuel. What's going on, Emmanuel? I haven't seen you in here. Says rather see Milwaukee instead of the Detroit Pistons. Yeah, I mean, look, LV Live and I said that last week. But, guys, the first half tonight, Knicks look good, man. Knicks look good in the first half. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, this Pistons, like, maybe we can sweep them. But games aren't won in the first half. So, you got to credit their turnaround, man. You do. And hopefully we can get some clarity here in this next game, because this is driving me crazy, man. I just want to know. I mean, the chances are you're going to face the Pistons still, but I just want to know. Right? I just want to know. El Figgy says, why didn't Rick Brunson help Tom Thibodeau on his player rotations? He knows Thibs is lacking in that area. Johnny Bryant was that guy last year for us that unfortunately we let go to Cleveland, and he helped Tom Thibodeau a little bit with that. And Rick Brunson respects Thibs, so I don't think he wants to cross that path. But that's for me to say, maybe they're having conversations behind the scenes, and, Thibs is taking in all the information. Maybe. But we just have to wait and see. El Figgy says Rick Brunson has to step up to do more of what Johnny Bryant used to do. Johnny Bryant used to get up pretty much a lot. You would see him whisper things in Tom Thibodeau's ear, substitutions, scenarios, situations. He's just a great basketball mind. And, when he left, I was upset. And I was happy for him because he's with Donovan Mitchell now, who, those two are extremely close. But yeah, look, Thibs is going to say that he wanted PJ Tucker in there rather than Shamet because of the size and because of the paint stuff and because of the physicality of the game. But I thought it was a mistake. It was a mistake. Bro, what is this? All right, non-Knicks point really quick. Ja Morant is crazy. Ja Morant just threw another grenade into the crowd. Oh, man. This dude, man. Throwing grenades in the crowd now. He's like, all right, you don't want me acting with my little toy GUN, but now I'm going to throw quote-unquote grenades in the crowd. Okay. I just saw that on the timeline. Sorry for deviating there. Isaiah says, want to be positive. Remember, we beat Miami in the regular season and lost in the postseason. I bet the same thing will happen to the Pistons. They beat us now, and we will return it in the postseason. I agree. I think the Pistons have beat you 3 times this year, but I think in a playoff series, I honestly do think the Knicks are built to beat this Pistons team 5 games. I do. 5 games. When everyone's healthy, 5 games. And just get it done. Just get it done. But guys, I'm saying that, and the Pistons have, all the talk in their locker room is probably like, yo, we can take these guys, man. We're not scared of them. Like, we can take these guys. But I do think as a Knicks fan, we will win. I do. Appreciate you guys in the chat once again. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Have a membership. You guys can become a member. I just gifted 5 memberships in the chat. I think I gifted one to Isaiah. So shout out to you. It's random, by the way. So I don't control that. It's you. I say gift memberships, and it's random on YouTube. So you guys can see the film breakdowns that I do for the members. And, it's kind of cool, a little bit of a cool behind the scenes that I provide to you guys as well. So really appreciate the support as always. But 2 more of these things. Knicks, Pistons, that's what it's looking like, but it's still not set in stone, right? It's still not set in stone, so we just have to wait and see. Trying to get some some clarity over this next game, hopefully. But right now, I mean, just get healthy. Just get healthy, stay healthy, and just go from there. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Thank you for the support as always. I'm Anthony. Have a great night. Thank you for the support. I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Knicks Cavs tomorrow. Have a great night. Peace.